Like, it always felt like Spider-Man was never his own dude in the MCU.
Right.
He was always just like Tony Stark's little buddy. Like, he's Tony Stark's Bucky, and that's why this one stands out for me.
Vulture was literally like, hey, look, you can date my daughter. Like, do it. Or you can fuck with me, and I'm not even mad at you. I want the other two. You right. You know, there is a lot to talk about with this movie, and I know and I know you said we have a lot to say, but honestly, everybody has opinions because this movie is the biggest movie of the year.
It's gonna be, I'm not gonna say divisive, talked about.
No, I don't. Yeah, I think it's going to be talked about plenty across the interwebs.
I'd agree with that.
I didn't mean it to do that, but across the internet.
Yeah, you're not 52 years old.
Shut up. Across the internet, and you get to get our opinions today. And honestly, the only ground rules I am setting are we do have a litany of hosts today. Therefore, trust me, I'm keeping it to myself too. I'm going to clap myself out of existence as well. Thanos this shit. Until we get to the second half where we can go nutso chutso.
Yeah.
Be cognizant of your speech time.
Okay, I can do that.
Well, you have the format down to a T.
Yeah,
You've been practicing it.
Well, I mean, speaking of the format, let's go ahead and start with initial thoughts. Let's go to the quietest person in the intro. JJ, how do you feel about Spooderman today?
Yeah, initially.
I like Spooderman.
Okay.
They could have just shown me Japanese Spooderman, and I still like it.
Well, yeah.
Hey, wrong Sony franchise. That's the Into the Spider-Verse expectation. You stop it.
No, I meant they literally could have just like gotten a VHS tape of the 70s TV Japanese Spider-Man and been
I
like,
would've
damn,
watched it.
best movie of the year.
They could have, technically, they could have thrown him in, right? If they wanted to.
I would say as like a mild beef that I had going into this movie is that so much is spoiled in the trailer. Like I
You
kind of
think? I don't know.
I don't think so
because
at all. I felt like I
would
was.
have preferred like just having like a bare bones like 1 minute like a 90s kind of trailer and then not know Doc Ock is in
Don
this.
LaFontaine there. Yeah.
Like, you know how.
Where Spider-Man is a menace.
That's a great impression.
Well, it's not that I don't. It's not that I disagree with you per se, but I'm like, at this point, you know how trailers are gonna be. Like, and so the expectation is if you really don't want to go about the routes of like seeing it, you just have to like completely avoid it, basically. But it's almost impossible.
Well, not
Yeah,
really.
no, because I don't watch any of the trailers, but watching football, I mean, I was basically
Oh,
seeing.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
And they were dropping a lot of adverts. I would say if you
we were
watch
doing fucking Kia commercials.
Hella. No, it was more than Kia. Kia was another one, too. Like, they were doing crazy commercials.
but I would say that if you watch the first two trailers, I felt like there was still plenty,
Oh, a lot of meat on the bone.
a lot of
sure.
meat to
Yeah,
eat
yeah.
off of. But what about you? What did you think?
So initial thoughts without getting into spoilers. This movie is a 3-act structure for sure. The first act is not my favorite. I really had problems with Tom Holland carrying a movie for the first part, the first third. But once the villains come into play, and they are really the heart of this story, the redemption arcs and things like that. I'm not going to get into details. I'm in. That was the moment where I was like, I'm in for whatever this movie is going to give me at this point.
Oh, took him a while.
Dude, I'm sorry. Tom Holland bothers the shit out
He's
of me.
bothering me, too. You're not alone. Like, he's Chris Pratt'ing it for me. But that's beyond the point.
It doesn't help that I saw an Uncharted trailer before this movie.
They did it to us also.
Sorry, for me, I think that I might be on the inverse. Not the inverse, but in particular, I kind of liked that this really pressed Tom Holland to being in the spotlight more than you would think. And that carries through the entirety of the film. I think I'm not necessarily with you. I don't dislike the first act, but when you compare it to the second and third, it's like, oh, okay, when things start moving, they really start to move. And I was really leaned in through that time. And, I'm not to beat around the bush here. I was a sucker for the villains, like that when they showed up, and just the way that they interacted, each one coming from very different dynamics. It comes together in a really, really good way, at least for me.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't expect much going into this.
Yes, we know.
I don't know if I mentioned that to you.
Oh, did you?
Did I?
No, I don't know, man.
I don't think I did. But, no, this movie, it kind of had me from go. I love just I like the little things, the details, and just the art direction. It picks up exactly where the last one leaves off.
They didn't waste time.
They didn't waste time, and but it's shot in such a frantic style to where it's like he's just trying to dodge and duck everything. Everything's closing in on him at one time. And you feel that. I'm like, oh, this sucks. And I would have liked to have had more of that.
I thought it was corny, that intro.
Did you? You didn't like that? Well,
I
the
didn't
actual
like it.
intro, yeah. But
No,
just-
I'm talking about the acting. Yeah.
I liked it.
I liked
good.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right where it's
What else
right
would
where
they-
it
would
picks
have
off.
started? Yeah.
Like that's not too much of a spoiler. Like, so the movie opens up like literally with Spider-Man's identity being revealed and the fallout from that. And, you know, when you're going into the Spider-Man films, at least for me, I'm always like, hey, like the interactions are going to be, like there's going to be a little bit, not younger, but there's going to be a little bit more of the playful, slightly childish nature because he's also the youngest one, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like they lean into that. But I mean, I'm like,
I mean-
I don't understand. I don't know how you'd open it any other way.
So
Yeah, but
when I
I
saw
mean-
the first Spider-Man, I don't know what home that was at this point, but it was basically Adventures High School. Like, he's literally in high school, going to prom and stuff. That's the crux of the plot. But all the drama, homecoming. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Everything, all the drama is minimized for it to be a teen drama, and I didn't see the second one. Maybe I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage because of that.
Right.
But I felt like this one, the first act, is still in that teen era, and then once the villains come in, it's like, oh, these are real people with real problems. It's not like, oh, wah, I can't go or
I'll say this one is different. It
Yeah.
definitely is different. It feels different than the other ones feel, but
It's-
by far, yeah.
I have thoughts on that, but we'll get to that
Okay.
like, when we
Yeah.
once we're shucking and jiving with the.
okay.
Yeah, no, so no, it had me at that beginning and it lost me. Right after the franticness was done, it
Really?
it lost the fuck out of me. I'm like, all right, man, like what the fuck? Can we go? Let's go. Let's do this. Come on.
So
But-
the rule was
Yeah.
don't say anything not in the trailer. So basically, the Doctor Strange intro threw you off.
No.
No.
It was okay. It didn't thrill me.
So it's-
because I saw it in the trailer. so
So
you're right.
it's the part before Doctor Strange
Yeah,
and
all
after.
that,
Okay.
all that before, kind of during that part. But the thing about this movie is, once it gets popping, it don't stop. Like once it pop, the fun don't stop. So yeah, it was- I knew it was one of them. Yeah, but that's pretty much how it goes. And I mean, I do have opinions on it. Like without even spoiling anything, it was uneven to me. Like I told you,
It's very patchy for the first half, I want to say.
Yeah.
I kind of want to bounce off of you in that
Yeah.
point, and I feel like the first act has a bunch in the trailer, so we can elaborate a little bit. Yeah, man, I don't know. Maybe I was I won't say I was in love with it, but I was like, I felt like for me at least that was what it needed to do in order to get where it wanted to go.
technically,
Right?
You're right.
Yeah.
You got to build up. to
Like I was like,
something.
because I mean, I get what you, but
Yeah.
to me that kind of, because it's almost like a roller coaster, right?
That's
like,
exactly what
Like
is.
it was like, it was slowing down,
Yeah.
getting a little bit low, just so it could do its biggest spike,
Yeah, right.
right?
That's what I told him. For me, the highs were high and the lows were low.
No, for sure.
And,
I
and
agree
it's
with that.
hard to balance that when trying to, critique something. And that's, after tonight and days on, it'll start to click more. But I have an opinion on it. I don't know if it's the right one just yet, but I feel like I'm predicting my future opinion rather. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Well, aren't you the kind of dude that's going to see it like 2 more times before you
I
like
don't
it?
see. That's the thing, man.
I don't want to get into
Yeah,
it
we'll get into that later.
because I don't think this is a spoiler, but so the Spider-Man goes through some shit. You get to see him have the dynamic with multiple villains. And honestly, I think that's probably the strongest suit for me. Not the strongest suit in this movie, but one of the strongest suits in this movie is like the most just Peter you get, right? Like where he's having to deal with these things.
Yeah.
And he's
I would
not
agree with that.
Yeah.
And he's not really he's not being overshadowed by Iron Man.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up. Like, this one stands out for me in terms of the MCU Spider-Man, like the home trilogy, because for the first two, it really felt like Spider-Man is here, but Vulture, really, I want to kill Tony Stark. Like, you're just in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was like,
Mysterio, really, I want to kill Tony Stark.
Yeah.
You're just in the way. And I'm like, Spider-Man has the best rogues gallery in all of Marvel.
Yeah.
Why are you fucking this up this way? That's why, like,
And none of them
still-
have beef with him.
Right. Like, it always felt like Spider-Man was never his own dude in the MCU.
Right.
He was always just like Tony Stark's little buddy. Like, he's Tony Stark's Bucky. And that's why this one stands out for me.
I'd agree with that.
That's spot on, yeah.
I mean, Vulture was literally like, hey, look, you can date my daughter. Like, do it. Or you can fuck with me, and I'm not even mad at you. I want the other two. You right. But yeah,
I
no.
didn't notice that until he said that.
Literally. Yeah, like, I'm with you, right? Spider-Man's my favorite hero, my God. And I'm like, hey, he has a lot to pull from. And then I was kind of confused because I'm like, man, Sony, you making these one-off movies with his villains. He can't even fight his rogues gallery, you dumbasses. But then they start to, let him have actual interaction. He gets to talk to the villains. That's one great thing about this movie. He has plenty of interactions with the villains. Like,
Oh, yeah, it's not like a thing like, where it comes in the last act or some shit. No, they give it time to breathe and all that shit, which is, it's a plus.
one thing, like, I don't think this counts as a spoiler, but I think one of my favorite parts was like, they're like, they're trying to figure out like each of the villains, right? Because they're like each one's different. And they totally don't know what to do. And then when they get to Lizard, like, they're like, I don't even know, like, where'd you come from?
Call him a dinosaur.
I wasn't gonna say that till spoilers, but like all of the villains get like this really cool narrative of something, and then
They just
shove that dude in a truck. And it's
they're like, this is not really a spoiler because there's a lot of villains
You
here.
need thumbs to be a part of this crew.
There's a lot of villains here, and I apologize in advance that the Lizard's your favorite.
I don't think he's anyone's favorite.
No.
Because
I don't even think he
He's
was
solid.
Mark Webb's favorite.
Yeah.
And he directed him.
Lizard kind of, they were like, hey, you? Nuh-uh. We ain't gonna talk about how you got here. We ain't gonna talk, they talk about how they got here, but we ain't gonna talk about how you were caught.
they make him a mute for half of his on-screen
You're the
time.
mysterious guy. Just stay in the shadows.
I wouldn't say half, but they, like, for a while, like,
a good while.
for a good while, like, and then when he does, they're like, the fuck?
Well,
like,
yeah. Did he in the movie?
What?
Talk? Yes.
Yeah, he talks a bunch.
Okay, I haven't seen that movie in forever. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, he talks a bunch in the
okay.
original one.
All
But yeah, no. So they do. They are juggling villains. But I would say that with the amount of just presence of people on the screen and with the amount of villains on the screen, they do such a good job of juggling it, especially with the like main ones who are showcased. And you can definitely tell which of the, I mean, it's even in the press stuff, but I don't want to get in particulars just yet. You could tell which of the crew is like the main ones, and in particular the main one. And they definitely highlight that. But going into maybe. Because at this point, now that our first opinions are gone, there's very little we can say without just ripping off the Band-Aid. So how about not necessarily final thoughts, but actually, closing out opinions. What like your highest and lowest point if it's non-spoiler, and if it is a spoiler, just say kind of like
I can do a synopsis without spoiling it. So weird, controversial take that I'm probably gonna have that this is actually better than Endgame and Infinity War in the sense of juggling 10 different narratives at once, like 10 different characters all get their shine in this kind of movie.
Well, it's 10 in this one. It's like 50 in Endgame.
And
but they all have their own movie, so it's like whatever with that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, I just meant that was my issue going into it. I was like, there's no way you can make a good script with this many
what
characters.
you want to do.
I mean, y'all tried it twice. Like with Spider-Man again. It's like, stop.
Sort of, kind of, but no. Really, the only movies you can compare this to is Avengers, and
But it's more than Avengers because you can easily make a script that balances 5 narratives.
Right.
This is double that because you care about
Everybody.
everybody.
Well, I guess if you count the villains, whatever, but I didn't. I counted them as just
They
side
have a
characters.
full
They have
arc.
but you've seen their arc, kind of, and they play on that
I would-
somewhat, but
I think.
No, actually, it rejuvenates a lot of.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
But-
not to get into spoilers, but they definitely like give some of them a lot of.
Oh no,
shine.
they all get their time. Like every last one of them, it's perfect. It's Suicide Squad style. Like you get to know everybody.
Well, like at the
More
end,
so actually
at
than
the
that
at the end of Endgame, I felt kind of ripped off. I'm like, oh,
that was just a climax.
No, but
Yeah.
I still am like, oh, the Guardians of the Galaxy got shit stick. They didn't do anything. I don't
didn't
feel
need
that
to
way.
be there.
Yeah, no.
After Infinity War, fuck these niggas. Fuck you mean? The whole reason we're in this shit is because of one of them niggas. So you and your crew get the hell out.
We
You
don't
good?
need
Yeah, get in that ship. I don't care. Your green bitch is back.
The raccoon
Bye.
can
Keep it
stay.
moving.
The
Hey, if
raccoon
they're
can
the dudes
stay.
that caused the problem, they're the dudes that should get the redemption arc. They
No!
just show up in the back.
They're not strong enough. No. They
have
caused
a
the problem and
conversation
they
in the middle of
leave.
battle.
Yeah,
Like-
I don't even think Drax. They don't even get lines.
Drax doesn't know.
No, Drax doesn't. Star Lord
Think
just
Drax
gets hit
does-
in the nuts. Like they don't
Does
do.
Rocket get like one?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah,
you're right.
he asked for fucking Bucky's arm.
Oh no, that's
I thought that was in the first one.
no,
That
yeah, that was
Infinity
Infinity War. We're talking Endgame. That battle, they got no screen time. But you're right. Everybody gets to shine in the
And in this one, with all these
Yeah.
narratives and all these characters, they all, except for Lizard Dude, get a satisfying resolution. And
Yeah.
I would say that I hope this isn't a spoiler. What you actually do need to see Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2 in order to
I mean,
fully
you got
get
the villains
yeah.
in there. Yeah.
No, yeah, you got the villains in there. Like you have
see
to
all of them actually.
Yeah.
to understand. Like I feel like it gets really. So I actually have the opposite perspective because my girlfriend didn't watch anything, right? But she said she said it was very easy for her to follow along. She said it was very not easy for because she was confused about a lot of different interactions. But she said like in terms of like the villains and the motivation stuff, she was like, yeah, for me that was like it was cool. Like you
mean,
could tell the
it's a
energy.
one-off.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
they do make it easy to grasp the ending without watching them, but I feel like, for example, Electro, you wouldn't.
No, he
yeah.
he
a
probably
makeover.
he definitely needed the most.
Yeah.
Like you have to watch the original one to understand why he's like
Completely, just-
why he comes back and he's like I'm sexy. Yeah,
Yeah, I like this universe.
he's like man,
Yeah, he said, no, this that's exactly this is different.
he's like man, this is that good shit.
It's that good. Yeah.
All right. Well, sorry, Marcos. If you wanted to elaborate any more, you good.
I would just say like this is a really good watch. Like I don't. It's like a video game when you don't do any of the side missions. We got
Hey!
a tier 1 subscriber from Links Ghana.
Hey, love to
Yeah.
see it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But no, yeah, you're not gonna get the. It's like a video game when you don't do the side missions. If you don't watch the other movies, you're not gonna get the full grasp of Electro or any of these other characters when they reach the resolution. But with
Or you could go to Draft House early like I did, and they'll recap it for you.
That's fair.
True, yeah.
But no, with all that, with all the weight, this is a movie that's kind of like Avengers and kind of like Infinity War, where it's like it pulls from all these narratives that it's like it's part of it and it's its own canon, but it takes it to the end zone. It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
JJ?
I'm sort of there with him. Like, I was trying to phrase this in a smarter way, but this movie feels very Marvel to me in that, like, Marvel was the first ones that was like, nah, this dude and this dude, like Captain America, Iron Man, these two dudes know each other. Whereas DC and every other, like, superhero comic kept them separate. Like,
Right.
They were, so seeing, like, all these other villains, like, that show up in the trailer, because the ones from like the Raimi movies, they know each other. They
Yeah.
existed in
And
the same
actually,
universe.
oh, dude,
We'll
that
get that-
oh, dude,
yeah.
I want to talk about that because
that's just writing wise, that it
that's
was so,
so
well done.
good.
It was so well done the way they did that.
But yeah, and then also backtracking to what I said earlier,
Yeah.
whereas like this finally feels like this is a MCU Spider-Man movie and not Tony Stark presents
His
Spider-Man.
little buddy. Yeah, because it was forced here.
Yeah.
This was a perfect mixture of Sony and Disney. It was a collaborative effort. with
For
this
sure.
one. And it feels like it. It really does.
Man, because that's what I'm saying. Like,
It's a weird
I know,
movie,
I
man.
know where. To me, I feel like I know where Marvel touched their humor, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree because there were some times where I was like, oh, I'm not really laughing, but other people they weren't like outright
Like
laughing.
a laugh track.
They weren't like outright laughing, but they were chuckles and like.
It might be in the script, but I feel like the best lines were improvised by two characters. But I will get into that.
Yeah, we'll get
Spoilers.
into the spoiler. Look, so here's my thing. The biggest issue I had with this movie, which is why I'm so, like, I kind of don't know how I feel, but I kind of do, is that,
Nothing wrong with being broke.
very true.
True.
We would, yeah, you're right. The problem with this, like, movie, it tonal shifts.
The
The tonal shifts are not well
Yeah.
done. to
when it's
me.
consistent.
Yeah.
It's very good. Like, cause it's like when they're on one beat for a while,
Yeah.
it's like cool. You're seeing the characters get their rhythm. But yeah, there is. So I think that's.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think I have a problem with the humor as much. I definitely was whiplashing. Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all want me sad? Y'all want me happy? Y'all want me laughing?
It's jarring to me. That's why this is such a weird movie for me personally. It's just like this is, I've never seen a movie quite like this tonally. Like, this shit is, you could tell it was too many cooks in the kitchen, if you will. Like, you can
For
see,
sure.
you can definitely see what Sony had their input, and you can definitely see what Marvel had theirs. And it's just like, all right, it's just like TJ said, it's whiplash. It's extreme. Like, the pendulum swings heavy, like just either one side or the other. And I'm like, all right, man, you got to balance this shit out a little bit better. And
Just-
I never think they quite do.
We can talk about it in more elaborately
Yeah.
in the spoiler section, but the best example of that is even the two stingers. So-
Oh, yeah, very true.
I'm talking when I say whiplash, it's like, ugh. I'm like, why are these the two?
That's the thing. Like, you mentioned, one of you mentioned earlier that I watch movies multiple times. That's how I watch it. And you were like,
I said it.
yeah, and you were like, so you got to watch this one more than once. I don't know if I want to. Not right now. I really don't. Like, I enjoyed. It was a ride. It was a roller coaster ride, almost literally. It felt like a goddamn roller coaster ride. And once it was over, it was like, I mean, it wasn't wasn't a rattler or anything.
It was the Roadrunner.
More like the Roadrunner or the Batman ride. Like, it's like,
I like both of those.
but are you gonna wait in line to do it over again?
I mean, not now.
You
during
wait a
COVID.
while, yeah. Well, you know.
I kind of like my life. But no,
Yeah.
because
It's bombastic.
to close us out here, because I actually wanted you to close us out, but you just decided to go.
I'm sorry.
He's excited.
So
I am.
So I want to shut the fuck up. But not for reals. I'm with you in the sense of I don't want to see this movie again, but I don't think I'm with you for the reason why.
Okay.
Because I like this movie a lot. But
I like it.
yeah, but also this isn't the type of superhero movie that like I'm eager to go jump back and see, because I think that there's a lot of things with it that just won't hit the same as that first initial watch through. And I think that, I will say that I definitely do want to go watch it again, but for the simple reason that I thought our theater's audio was
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
like the dialogue audio part was fine, but the action scenes, I was like, this feels muffled. But overall, just rankings, if you wanted to give a number.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
I'm gonna go 7 out of 10. It would probably be, if I looked at it.
I expected more.
You gotta really earn it.
Okay.
It's not that a 7 out of 10 is good.
Yeah, okay.
It was just in the pantheon of Marvel, if that's what you want to compare it to. I still like Guardians and Thor more.
Really?
Yes, I know I'm gonna be the odd man out
No,
of
you're
that.
not. You're
No,
not.
fuck
Okay.
Guardians and
no.
fuck Thor. JJ.
I think my headband speaks for itself.
Yeah!
Oh, no.
He got the shirt.
Oh, shit.
He's transforming!
I'm the other Spider-Man from
It's from a different universe.
the Ghetto universe.
Are you from 2099? No, I'm not. I'm not that one. Yeah.
My last name is Morales. No, I really liked it a lot. I don't know if I'd give it a 10, but I would definitely give it a 9. This feels like like I said, the most Spider-Man movie out of all of the MCU ones, and that's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Like when I talked about the other, like just Spider-Man as a whole, the movies as a whole, with friends from work and other people,
Yeah.
I would still rate the Raimi movies as my favorite ones, and I'd get like, ew, like what's wrong with you?
Yeah, the second
but-
one's okay.
But my
They're calling
thing,
you Spider Hector in the chat.
okay. But yeah, my thing, it's always been that same critique where it's
Yeah.
like it doesn't feel like the MCU Spider-Mans are really embracing Spider-Man.
Not at all. He's a sidekick.
Yeah, he's a
essentially,
sidekick to Tony Stark.
Right.
But yeah, 9. 9's where I'm at.
It's really hard to be mad at this movie at times because there are times where I think it was very much like one of those moments where you even I think the Amazing Spider-Man villains that's just a roughie for them, but I even think their presentation here was way better. But when you see those Sam Raimi villains come in, don't tell me you didn't get a little bit of a smirk in your face. Like, it is really hard to not get joy from some of these performances. I mean, we didn't get into some of the actor particulars, but William Dafoe crushes the game in this one. Alongside
Dr. Octavius.
not spoiling anything. He's in the trailer.
You saw
He's
Green
actually
Goblin.
not in the trailer.
Yeah, you saw Green Goblin,
He's
not
on-
Willem
he's on a
Dafoe.
poster.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Y'all know who it is. Spoiler. It's the nigga who played Green Goblin.
It's ruined it.
His rule and he broke it. That's fine.
You're right.
I'm
fucking with
yeah,
you.
yeah. I was like, literally, look. But no, I mean, the actors crush it, like, across the board. I don't think there was actually bad performance throughout the
There was
movie.
some lazy ones.
There was some.
We'll get into it.
There was some. I'll say there was some phoned in.
There you go.
But I didn't think there was
Better
there was
said,
there wasn't there was only one though.
Yeah.
There was one that I was like,
fair.
yeah, you kind of feel phoned in, but I even think they played off of that really well.
I think so too. They did.
Ricardo's calling you out because he's saying there's been 3 Green Goblins in the movies.
I don't give a fuck.
There has been.
Yeah, look, you know who the realest one is. You saw the OG costume.
Dane DeHaan.
Hey, stop reading these comments. Not my shit. Gave it a 9. It's a 9. I'm with you. I love Spider-Man too much.
For me, like I said, I'm predicting my future opinion on top of my initial opinion. Initially, this is 9.5, almost a 10. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I've never seen, like, the hook. The reason I compare it to Avengers is because Avengers,
Villains, yeah.
No, not even the villain. No, we've never seen that before.
Oh, you're right.
Never seen it before. Never saw just a collection of superheroes before. And so that was cool. Endgame, never really seen it. Never seen a battle, a superhero battle to that scale. 10 years worth of movies in one. And this, I mean, what they do here has never been done before. And for that, I know that it's not going to age well because of it. And so
You really think that?
I know that. I know it. It's going to be, it's still going to be a good movie. I don't know how people will perceive it, when that time
You know what?
I can piggyback on that when we get into spoilers.
Okay, because I thought Civil War initially I loved very much. And then, like, as years have gone, not so much,
I
It's-
hated Civil War from the jump.
you hate all of them.
No, I hate my least favorite Marvel movies are the ones that have too many characters. So
Characters,
Age of
yeah.
Ultron, Civil War,
Age of Ultron's trash.
and
yeah.
Endgame.
Right. Well, I love Endgame because Endgame to me was just literally a
To me,
3-hour
that's
format.
what it's there for.
And it got- that- it
I
was like
can't
a-
fault it for what it's there
Right.
for.
And this
I
one's,
can.
This one's the same.
Because you're
way.
just a pessimistic ass. You sound like Sammy. That is an insult.
Well, I'm like, oh no.
But I love most of them. It's just the ones that have.
Excuse me,
too
let me phrase
many
that.
characters.
Sound like old Sammy. Sammy's actually done a really good
He
job at
likes,
improving
he
that.
likes character building and whatnot.
I actually have to give him credit. He has tried to not be super, but you are being that.
But
the
I like
chair.
most of them, and I'll get into spoilers for why this is the one that has a crowded cast, and I actually love it.
We'll talk about it. So I got to balance that out, which I know I'd probably give this like a 7 if I watch it 3 years from now. So we'll go 8.
I'm being pessimistic. We gave it the same score.
We won't have the
No, he gave it an 8. You gave it a 7 after comparing it to City of God. So shut up.
same, which I still think is pretty good. I wouldn't put it in that category.
I wouldn't put it in any
Compared to
category. Listen,
This compared to City of God, this would be like a 4.
that's a real generous 4.
City of God's the best movie ever made. So, yeah, it's a good movie.
No, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at this guy.
Why? I'm agreeing that this is a really
Man.
good movie.
I don't care about this movie. Stop disrespecting toy box movies.
No, that was not one road I will go down.